Good morning, y'all. This is DP with DJ, and it is Monday, February 2nd, 2026, Groundhog Day. So, who thinks Punxsutawney Phil is going to see his shadow? And do we all really think it matters? Because Bipolar Betty, that's what I call Mother Nature, she's going to do what she's going to do. And I just think she needs to take her meds. But it's 20 degrees right now, and it is supposed to get to 45, so we're going to have a tropical heat wave today. And even more so later, like by Saturday, we're supposed to be almost 60 degrees. So won't that be a hoot? Thought I'd come and do a short WIP and Chat this morning and work on my frogs in the bathtub. These guys are very cute. Very, very cute. So, work on that. What is everybody else working on? Excuse me. Yeah, Starlight Starbright 70, your frog's cousin hasn't decided to go back where he came from yet. I really wish he would. It'd be nice to not wake up with this frog in my throat, but I am moving on and ignoring him. Tried resting yesterday, woke up with a really, really bad headache, so I didn't really do a lot yesterday. I didn't cook. I really didn't do much of anything except try to rest. And so there's that. But I sometimes don't think that, I'm not sure that resting has anything to do with getting this frog to go back down to the creek. So let's see, it's 10. I don't know, but I'm ready for them to go bye-bye. I'm sure everybody else is as well. Oop, can't have an extra one there. That doesn't work too well, does it? But, so what is everyone working on? I know there's a few that have projects for February. Me, I pick a project that speaks to me at the time I'm choosing one, so, and I have limited amount of projects available to me, so I just do what speaks to me. Everybody else, is your weather calming down, or are you getting new storms coming in? I know some places, I've been in some lives where people, Saturday, I believe it was, said that they had gotten like 10 more inches of that fluffy white stuff, and I'm like, ooh, goodness. Y'all can keep that stuff, because I'm tired of that stuff. I am ready for spring. Spring, spring, spring. Let's have spring. April showers, bring May flowers. I'm just ready for springtime. Bring it on. I don't mind the rain as long as the temperatures are high enough that it doesn't want to freeze. So I like springtime. when I had my house, springtime was such a fun time. I would go clean out flower beds and start preparing soil, turning it, adding sand to the soil because there was a lot of clay in the dirt. So I would take we had sandbags that we would put in the back of our pickup truck to add weight for the winter. Well, by the time winter was over, they'd be tearing apart, ripping, shredding. So I used that sand and would add it to my gardens. Repurpose. We don't throw anything away. Don't waste. And I would get so excited. I had so many flower gardens. I miss having that option of gardening. Apartment living is, pros and cons to it. Don't have to do my own maintenance, but you give up a few luxuries like gardening, outdoor gardening and stuff. I can have a few potted plants on the front porch, but they have very strict rules. You're limited to 2 pots and certain sizes. I can't remember what they are. So I do what I can, and until I get this mess inside completely cleaned up, I'm not going to have a lot of potted plants inside the house, but I do have several starters, philodendron and Dieffenbachia, Monstera, which is not a starter, but I did propagate it, so I did take my own starter off my Monstera. I got my Monstera in July of 2025, and it had 2 leaves on it, and in December it had 6 leaves on it. So I did propagate it, and back to the original 2 leaves. I took the other 4 off and have them in a great big huge gallon, I think it's a gallon pickle jar type jar, and they're doing well. Got my Dieffenbachia from my neighbor because her cat would not leave it alone. He kept eating it and chewing on it and breaking it, so she was going to throw it away, but she remembered that I love plants and flowers, so she brought it to me, and I have that now. Hopefully I can save it and have another plant in the house. And I have philodendrons. Can't wait. My framing material for my commission piece still has not arrived. Little disappointed because I am really wanting to try this new framing process, and I've got the canvas painted, cut, all ready to go. The materials just need to show up so I can do it, and I really wish they'd show up. So waiting on that, trying to figure out how I can do a tutorial type video to show everyone how I frame it. So I'm still thinking on that. because I'm not sure, because I don't think this space that I'm working at right now is big enough to actually do the framing. I think I'm going to have to do it on my kitchen table, and I'm going to have to find a piece of cardboard or something big enough to protect my kitchen table, because I am not going to ruin my kitchen table with adhesive, glue, cutting anything. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to mess up my kitchen table. So I might have to figure out my old craft table, if that would be big enough to do it on. Just have to kind of test things out a little bit. And I'm not sure. Oh, come on. I'm not sure. I've also got to, I'm putting the dragonfly on the stretched canvas. So I've got to talk to my neighbor. I'm going to have to get some staples for her staple gun, because she had just recently told me that she was pretty sure she was out. She has the gun, but no staples. So I'm going to have to figure out what size they are and get those ordered. But there's no rush on the dragonfly framing. So, but the other piece, yeah, I was hoping I'd have that thing done and ready to be shipped this week, but apparently doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, but we go with the flow. He's not, excuse me, concerned. He just wants to make sure that his wife gets it. So I was just excited and wanted to get it done. But, and I really don't understand. I mean, if I'd have purchased these framing materials from, say, Temu, it's funny, because if I had, they would already be here. They're coming from California, from Walmart, so, and they've been delayed twice, and I really don't understand that. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted at all the delays. But I mean, this is the first time I've ordered anything from Walmart that have had such serious delays. I don't think I've ever ordered anything from Walmart that got delayed, so I'm kind of stumped on why it's this way. I don't really get it, but guess it's not for me to get. It'll get here when it gets here. So this is 20. Yes. So we're just moving along, and I'm not sure what I want to do this week. I've really been thinking about, I need to start working on more of the unpacking and sorting through all this crazy paperwork. Sometimes I just look at it and just want to throw it out into a great big bonfire and just watch it go. But I don't know which boxes have just paperwork, which have paperwork and like some of my mom's projects, or if there is important paperwork. of my mom and dad's that I want to hold on to, such as maybe birth certificates and things like that. I know at one time I had seen, I believe it was my dad's original birth certificate, and oh my, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know, because it was years ago that I saw it. So I don't know if I'm going to come across that in my mom and dad's paperwork. I mean, you never know what you're going to come across. I know I found some baby pictures. Wish I could find a few of the pictures my mom had of me when I was like 3 years old. And believe it or not, I had curly, it was red. Curly, just, well, it wasn't all red. It was like really, really deep strawberry blonde. But I couldn't believe I had curls, because my hair has, as far as I know, has always been straight and baby fine hair. Can't really do a lot with baby fine hair. It's difficult to get it to hold a curl at all. That's why I was shocked when I saw that picture with all the curls. And I seriously doubt my mother curled my hair, especially at age 3. Can't see me doing that. And I was in a dress, which is another odd thing, because I was a tomboy. And the funny part was, all the jobs I had, that when I was in management, I had to dress up in a dress. Heels, hose, the whole 9 yards for decades. But that was for work. It wasn't much for dressing up, but I did it for work. So, I always tend to miss one if I don't take a gander across it. And I work from left to right, which, as a right-handed person, a lot of folks find that a little different. I tried the right to left when I first started diamond painting, and it just felt so awkward. It took me forever to complete a canvas doing it that way. It was just very awkward to me. It didn't feel natural. So I quickly started working left to right, and that just goes much quicker for me and is more comfortable. And we just do what is comfortable for us. I mean, we get ideas from other creators, for sure. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what is comfortable for you, because this is supposed to be a fun hobby. And if it's not fun, then what's the purpose, right? I mean, I don't want it doesn't need to feel like a job. But it'd be a cool job to have, wouldn't it? To diamond paint all day long. But I'm sure at that point, if it was a job, it would take away the fun, because this is a hobby that we all like to do, but we can get up and walk away from it to do other things. So if it was a job, I don't think it would end up being much fun. But who knows? Maybe a part-time job? Maybe that's the way to go with it. Because there were times I could diamond paint for 12 hours. Other times, well, not straight, because I have to get up and stretch, and I have other things I get up and do, because I can't sit for that long of a period. I get ants in my pants and gotta move around. ADHD, you know, something starts running through my head and I gotta, ooh, I need to run and do this real quick. Or, oops, I need to make this phone call. Or, oops, I need to do this. I need to do that. So, yeah. But there are other times I can sit down and try to diamond paint and it's just not working. So I have to walk away from it. But 99% of the time I could sit and diamond paint for a very long time, of course, taking breaks. But one time I got so focused on my canvas, I sat for a solid 8 hours working on a canvas. And when I tried to stand up, my legs were numb, my feet were numb. I couldn't stand up because I had literally sat for too long and pinched a nerve. I mean, that's one of the bad parts of all the wrecks I've been in. Sitting in certain positions for too long will pinch a nerve in my back, and everything goes numb from the waist down. But so I've learned to take breaks, not sit for extended periods of time in one position. And I've had so many wrecks that I can't sit on the floor Indian style. So that pinches a nerve in my back, and then I become paralyzed from the waist down. Or both of my hips will pop out of socket, and that is a very painful thing to go through. I've learned what causes it, so I don't do it anymore. If you've ever seen Lethal Weapon and how Mel Gibson slams his shoulder back into place, well, that's how I have to put my hips back into place, and it's extremely painful, except mine is not up against the wall most of the time. Most of the time I had to slam myself on the floor, and let me tell you, I don't like it. It's very painful. It's not fun. It's awkward. It's difficult to do. And so, and it's very painful to try to walk that way too. And I definitely couldn't even get into a car to go to a doctor to have them reposition the hips back into socket. So I just don't sit Indian style anymore, because that seemed to be the biggest trigger of my hips popping out. And I've learned over the years, because this happened, Lord, back in 1988. 88 was a really rough year for me on many, many levels. But I learned what to do and what not to do. I had to go through 9 months of treatment in order to be able to stand up straight. It was pretty traumatic, but I don't know, it's just a weird year, because earlier that year I'd been in the hospital for a week. 88 was just a rough year. But moving on. And then let's see, I'm trying to concentrate and find these fours. Oh, I was thinking about if this framing process works out and I like it as much as I think I'm going to like it, I am really thinking about framing my faith cross and my Christ in the eye with this framing process and getting them hung up on my wall. I really want to get that up on my wall. Really, really want to get it up on my wall. I love that Christ in the eye, and I've been trying to decide what I wanted to do with my faith. I've had more people want to buy that faith cross, and I can't get that one particular one anymore. So I really do not want to sell it, because that one, I spent a lot of time on that one. I really love it. I love the flowers and the way faith is written in the cross. And I want to get it framed and up on my wall. And my Christ in the eye, that canvas really stunned me, because I really did not expect it to turn out so well. It is a beautiful canvas, and that's one I may repurchase and do again, because it is just, I absolutely loved it. And I've got a few people that have been asking me if I would do one for them. So I really enjoyed that one, and it turned out very stunning. It just is really nice. If you haven't seen it, I think I did a short on it. I don't think it's a long video, but it is in my short videos. It was the last canvas I did of 2025. That's how I ended 2025. And ended the year with Christ in the eye, and very happy with it. Didn't have any problems working on it, and I really didn't think like the eyelashes would pop out, or that the teardrop would show, or even Christ on the cross inside the eye would, show. But man, it turned out very nice. 17. So what all is going on with you folks? Are you serious? There was only one? Nope, there's another. I was going to say, I thought I seen a few of them. Do you ever do that? Think that you see one and you get that number out, and it's like you only find one? Oh, diamond painting is so fun. I love these trays. They just make everything go so much nicer, quicker, smoother. I'm not unhappy with them at all. And I was watching Diamond Painting Yodian, and I just love the way she multi-places. And then it clicked in my head. Everybody I see, I believe I've seen successfully multi-place, and seems to have metal tips. All I have is plastic multi-placers. So I'm wondering if it's the metal tips that make it not necessarily easier, but more precise and cleaner, because the plastic ones, they really move around in them, and I seem to spend more time straightening them out than I do if I were single placing. And then I may, here in a few months, because I would have to put it in the budget, to budget for it, try to get some metal multi-placer tips, but I don't know how to order them where they would fit in this pin, because I've heard other people that the threads don't fit or whatever. So how do you go about knowing how to get the tips that will fit your pin? That is my question for all the seasoned creators that have a lot more accessories and experience with getting accessories than I do. I would appreciate any help on that. Not sure what else to talk about today. I know I am going to get out because I need to start my car again and make sure to keep it charged up, keep that battery charged up. And with it being a nice day, I just may take a little drive today. I won't go anywhere, but I'll just drive it around, take a little scenic tour for a minute. An old friend of mine from my bike group, his father passed away last week, and the funeral will be this coming Saturday, February 7th, so I think I'm going to attend the memorial service, at least, show my respects, say hi to my old friends, and make an appearance, as they say. Be respectful, you know. He gave a very nice memorial of his dad on Instagram. It was very moving, very heartfelt, very raw, but it was very nice. And I didn't know that his father was a pastor. And so I learned a few things about my friend's dad that I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know his dad, but it's interesting to keep learning. I don't know. And I don't think you're ever too old to keep learning. And if I had that attitude that, oh, I'm too old to learn that, I would have never learned diamond painting. I would have never learned rock painting. I would have never learned gardening. I mean, there's lots of things I would have never learned had I not had an open mind to try new things. Wow, that thing wants to stop moving. Never had that happen on these canvases. So, anyway, I know when I did my high school diploma at age 40, a college had reached out to me and wanted me to be a math scholar, and as much as I love math, I did not want to do math 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I turned them down. It would have been a full-time thing. I mean, I thought about it, but I had so many other responsibilities that I wouldn't have been happy doing that. And working, and I had too many responsibilities. I didn't want to be a full-time student, so I turned them down. And I had graduated with honors in math, but yeah, that's why they reached out to me, and I just didn't want to do that 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So there's that. And alright, folks, I hear people stirring, so I think I need to finish this up for today. And the closing statement, as always, is be kind. You never know what others are going through. You never know what a little bit of kindness can mean for someone. You could make a big difference in someone's day and not even know it. If you want to see a change in the world, be the change you want to see. Lead by example. It's a great teacher. And stay safe, stay warm. Everybody have a wonderful week, and y'all come back now, yeah?